Oundle School is a co-educational boarding and day independent school located in the ancient market town of Oundle in Northamptonshire. The school has been maintained by the Worshipful Company of Grocers of the City of London since its foundation in 1556. Oundle has 8 boys' houses, 5 girls' houses, a day house and a junior house. Together these accommodate more than 1,100 pupils. It is the largest boarding school in England, after Eton and Millfield. The current headmistress is Mrs. Sarah Curdinine, who in 2015 became the first female head in Oundle's 450-plus year history. The original school was known as Laxton Grammar School, and founded by Sir William Laxton. Laxton had been a member of the Worshipful Company of Grocers and was Lord Mayor of the City of London in 1544. After Laxton's death in 1556, his will decreed the founding of a school for the local boys of Oundle, which was to be maintained by the Worshipful Company of Grocers. There had been a school on the site since at least 1485, at which Laxton himself was educated. The size and reputation of Laxton Grammar School rose gradually in the following centuries, such that by the mid-19th century, many of the school's pupils had been sent from around the country to receive their education in Oundle. In 1876, the decision was made by the grocers to divide the school into Oundle School and Laxton Grammar School. Laxton Grammar School was to continue to educate boys from Oundle and its surrounding villages, while Oundle School was to accept only the sons of gentlemen from further afield. It is during this period that Oundle rose to prominence as an English public school, which can be largely attributed to F.W. Sanderson in his role as headmaster from 1892 until his death in 1922. When Sanderson joined Oundle, he found a minor country boarding school. By the time of his death, the school had become the leading establishment for science and engineering education. The success of Sanderson can be attributed to his educational ethos. He believed in teaching students what they wanted to learn and as a result, helped to introduce subjects such as science, modern languages, and engineering to the English independent school system. The major development came about in 1990 when Oundle admitted girls for the first time. In the year 2000, the decision was made by the school's governing body to reunite Oundle School and Laxton School as a single educational establishment under the common name Oundle School, with Laxton House becoming the day house. The school today, Oundle has 835 boarders and 235 day pupils. It is the third largest independent boarding school in England, after Eton and Millfield. The various school buildings which date from the 15th century are scattered around the market town, with the cloisters acting as the nucleus of the school community. The Good Schools Guide described the school as a popular, well-oiled, well-heeled co-educational boarding school, which is riding high. Pupils obtained strong results at GCSE and A-level. In their 2013 A-levels, pupils achieved 89.1% A** to B grades, with over 60% of grades either A** or A. Many pupils go on to study at Oxbridge. The overwhelming majority continue to Russell Group universities. The school still promotes the practice of Christian values and maintains strong links with the Church of England by celebrating the major events of the Christian calendar. All pupils who board are required to attend services in the school chapel 3 times a week, one midweek lunch-time service, Friday hymn practice, and the Sunday service. Pupils of other faiths are free to worship according to their own beliefs but must still attend chapel with the rest of the school. The school places a strong emphasis on extracurricular activities which encourage pupils to develop interests outside the classroom. One of the ways in which the school fosters extracurricular interests is through its extensive program of voluntary clubs and societies, which range from poetry and debating to croquet and wine tasting. Each academic subject also has its own society which organizes evening lectures from guest speakers throughout the year. These can be either directly related to the syllabus or simply to broaden interest in the subject. A new subject, Trivium, gives third-form pupils timetabled engagement with extension topics for their own sake, using methods of thought drawn from the traditional liberal arts. Outside term time, pupils are given the opportunity to participate in the countless regular school trips which explore all corners of the globe. These include history trips to major European cities, language exchanges in Europe and Asia, charity work in Africa, AAAS conventions and politics trips in America, natural history expeditions to Antarctica, and many more. Sport is considered to be an essential part of school life, and while there exists a multitude of sports to choose from, the emphasis remains on traditional team sports such as rugby, hockey, cricket, rowing and soccer for boys, and hockey, netball and tennis for girls. Oundle performs particularly strongly in independent school rugby, cricket and girls hockey. A large proportion of the school gathers to support the first 15 rugby team on the 2-acre during the Michaelmas and Christmas quarters. The school's greatest sporting rivalry is with Uppingham School, while other rivalries include Harrow School, Radley College, Stamford School and Rugby School. The school sends regular rugby, cricket and hockey tours to countries all around the world, while the Social Ramblers cricket team is known in the school for its tours of the UK and the Caribbean. The Oundle Rovers Cricket Club plays in the Cricketer Cup and hosts its own Cricket Week at the school. The Rovers have won the Cup 3 times and are third in the all-time order of merit. Like sport, music plays a vital role within school life for many pupils, and over 60% of pupils regularly practice a musical instrument while at Oundle. The school offers an extensive range of groups, bands, orchestras and choirs which cater for many musical tastes. Such is the success of music at Oundle that in recent years many pupils have gone on to receive musical or choral scholarships from Oxbridge, while school bands and choirs have gone on to perform concerts across the UK, Europe and even Asia. Musical and non-musical pupils are encouraged to get involved in the house shout and part song competitions in the Lent term, which are independently judged and contested fiercely. Possibly the greatest success in the practice of music at the school is its Rock Society, which can count the likes of Bruce Dickinson among its earliest members. Rock Soc has been running since the 1970s and promotes the independent formation of popular music bands which have their own dedicated concerts towards the end of every term. Oundle School has the largest combined cadet force of any school in the country, which plays an important role in both the development of pupils as well as in the community. For example, in the annual Remembrance Day service held in St. Peter's Church, the CCF offers pupils the opportunity to practice their leadership skills, whether on parade at school, on the termly field weekends, or on the annual camps. The school has a strong tradition of serving the community, with many pupils opting to provide assistance in the local area, or community action as an alternative to CCF. There are a broad range of community action options available in the Oundle area which cater not only for the needs of the local community but also for the extracurricular interests of the pupils. Many pupils choose to undertake the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme, which provides an ideal combination of the skills they acquire during CCF and community action. Every summer since 1982, sixth formers and former pupils have run the Oundle School Mencap Holiday, a residential holiday for children with a range of learning disabilities and now a highly respected charity in its own right. The school has ties with the Laxton Junior School for primary school pupils, some of whom continue their secondary education as pupils at the senior school. A modern building for Laxton Junior was completed in 2003, which allowed the school to double its intake. In November 2005, the school was found to have taken part in a cartel of price fixing amongst public schools. However, Mrs. John Scott, the head of the Independent Schools Council, said that independent schools had always been exempt from anti-cartel rules applied to business. were following a long-established procedure in sharing the information with each other, and that they were unaware of the change to the law. She wrote to John Vickers, the OFT Director General, saying, "They are not a group of businessmen meeting behind closed doors to fix the price of their products to the disadvantage of the consumer. They are schools that have quite openly continued to follow a long-established practice because they were unaware that the law had changed." Facilities. Oundle School's facilities include the following. Teaching facilities. Many lessons take place in the cloisters, which are located in the heart of the town, and other main teaching buildings include the Adamson Centre, the Gascoigne, the Needham, Old Dryden, the Patrick Centre and SciTech. Sporting facilities. The school has numerous sporting facilities which cater for a wide variety of different sports. Among these are 2 sand-filled AstroTurf pitches, a 6-lane synthetic athletics track, a swimming pool and over 20 tennis courts. The sports center houses 2 fully equipped sports halls, indoor squash and fives facilities, a climbing wall and well-equipped gymnasia. All of these have been rebuilt or refurbished in recent years. There are also extensive playing fields and boating facilities on the nearby River Nene. Various CCF buildings including 2 shooting ranges. There are a number of CCF buildings including the Armory, and various other smaller buildings used primarily for rifle and first aid training. Situated approximately 2 miles from Oundle, outside the hamlet of Elmington on the Ashton Estate, is Oundle School's full-bore outdoor range. At 500 yards long, the range is one of the few of its size in the country to be owned by a school. Rifles can be fired from firing points at either 100, 200, 300 or 500 yards. There is another, smaller, 22 shooting range situated next to the school armory which is used for day-to-day use. The Great Hall was constructed in 1908, with the north and south wings added shortly afterwards. The Great Hall is located prominently in the center of the town adjacent to the cloisters and schoolhouse. It is used for a variety of functions throughout the year including concerts, receptions, lectures, debates and assemblies. The building also houses the offices of the headmaster and the school admissions department. The Chapel of St. Anthony, consecrated in 1923, was built as a memorial to the fallen of the First World War. It contains some of the most important and influential stained glass in the country, including the Piper windows of 1954. The chapel is where the school community meets. It links past and present, and bears witness, both in itself and in its art and worship, to the abiding values of the Christian faith. The chapel houses 2 organs, a classical instrument built in 1984 by Frobenius of Denmark has 3 manuals and pedals, 35 speaking stops and mechanical action. It is situated in the gallery at the west end. A romantic instrument installed by Copeman Hart in 2000 and situated at the east end of the chapel provides accompaniment for the chapel choir, and leads the whole school singing. It has 3 manuals and pedals with a West End solo division. The Yarrow Gallery is the school's private art gallery, donated in 1918 by the shipbuilder Sir Alfred Yarrow in memory of his son, Eric, who was killed at the Battle of Ypres. The gallery puts on approximately half a dozen exhibitions every year. The space is adaptable and suitable for activities such as poetry readings, plays and small concerts as well as exhibitions. The purpose of the museum is that it should house a collection of pictures, specimens and models to illustrate the history, development, and beauty of the various branches of knowledge. The genealogical tree of the aeroplane and the Durham Minor were charted, and exhibits such as the skeleton of the White Horse which used to draw the school ambulance to the sanatorium were featured. The statue by Kathleen Scott entitled, "Here Am I, Send Me," is erroneously held to be modeled on her son Peter Scott. The Style Theatre opened in 1980 and runs from a converted church on West Street. It can seat an audience of over 400. The Style Theatre is owned and managed by Oundle School, run by the drama department staff, many of whom have a professional theatre background. It houses both the school productions and visiting professional theatre companies. The Patrick Center specializes in design technology, automobile engineering and other manual crafts. The school has had a strong reputation for science and engineering since the days of F.W. Sanderson, and this is reflected in the excellent facilities and equipment located within these buildings. Opened in 1998 after a generous donation from an old boy, the Patrick Center plays an important role in the academic and extracurricular activities of many pupils. Year after year, Oundelians continue to build cars and other forms of automobile, the parts of which are manufactured almost entirely in the workshops. The Cripps Library was opened in 1988. It houses approximately 22,000 books encompassing all subjects. The library is staffed throughout the school day and is open to the whole school for research, information or borrowing for academic work and leisure reading. The library was completely refurbished in 2011, with study spaces named in honor of inspirational former teachers at the school. The Peter Ling Room houses the new display cabinets for the Greek pots. The Dudley Heesim Room has been equipped with computer projection facilities for classes and meetings. The Clive Jacques Rare Book Room now houses the rare book collection in sycamore cabinets. It also contains an increasingly wide-ranging school archive in the form of photographs, newspaper cuttings and record books, the most notable being the earliest register of pupils of 1626. Oscar Radio. The school houses its own radio station which broadcasts from newly converted studios in the Gascoigne building. Over 2,000 pupils and local children have taken part in Oscar broadcasts since 1998. SciTech. The first phase of a new science and technology center was completed in summer 2007. In September 2007 it was officially opened by the Duke of Gloucester. It is set to be completed in 3 phases costing around £20 million in total. SciTech is the school's Millennium Project which upon completion will create a distinctive new center to combine the sciences, art and design and technology. The first stage houses the chemistry and biology departments. Houses. The school has 14 boarding houses in total. There are 8 boys' boarding houses, 5 girls' boarding houses and a junior house. Laxton House caters solely for day pupils. Oundle's boarding houses differ greatly in character, customs, and traditions, and there has always been a healthy rivalry between them. Housemasters and mistresses live with their families in private accommodation located within the boarding houses. The housemaster/mistress plays a crucial role in the everyday running of the house, and is supported by a deputy as well as a head of house and a team of prefects from the 6th form. In addition, each house has a number of house tutors who take care of approximately 8 pupils each. Each house also has a resident matron who not only cares for the unwell but also plays an important pastoral and administrative role within the house. Student accommodation varies between houses. Most houses contain a mixture of dormitories and bedsitters which are usually allocated according to seniority. Each house has its own library, computer room, recreation room, and dining room as well as living facilities such as kitchens, bathrooms and changing rooms. The boarding houses are divided into 2 categories, town and field. The town houses front onto Oundle central streets and have extensive grounds at the rear. The buildings were converted from a mixture of large private residences and shops and as such tend to possess highly individual, sometimes even labyrinthine layouts. The field houses provide accommodation in grand buildings which were purpose-built and are located slightly further from the town among the sports pitches and the school's other recreational facilities. Boys' houses, girls' houses, junior house, day house, old Oundelians. The school has a list of alumni. Arguably the most well-known of these today are the heavy metal musician Bruce Dickinson and the evolutionary biologist and science writer Richard Dawkins. A full list of notable alumni is available in the list of Old Oundleians. Former pupils are known as Old Oundleians. The OO Club was founded in 1883 and, to this day, keeps its original objectives very much in mind: to foster union and good fellowship among Old Oundleians, to promote OO matches and reunions, and to further the interest and prosperity of the school. Victoria Cross winners. 3 Old Oundleians were awarded the Victoria Cross for actions during the First World War. Alan Gerard VC, Cecil Leonard Knox VC, Charles Jeffrey Vickers VC. Notable Masters: Dr. Maximilian von Habsburg-Lothringen, F.W. Sanderson, John Olver, Kevin Walton GCDSC taught workshop engineering at the school. Terry Cobner, W.G. Grace Jr., Ian Hepburn, botanist, ecologist and author. Master for 39 years, Housemaster of Laxton House. Second Master, retired 1964. The Hepburn Music Competition is named after him. David Carpanini taught art at the school. School song. The official school song is Carmen Underlions.